He walked into the woods alone, just a young black man hoping for peace, not a headline. The forest was supposed to be quiet, a sanctuary from the noise of the world. But by sundown, he hadn't returned. By midnight, whispers filled the town. He should have known better. The police said it was just a hike gone wrong. But locals had another story, one tied to an old legend, a hidden trail, and a town that never forgot how to hate. What really happened in those trees? And why does no one want to talk about it? Isaiah Martin was 19, a quiet honors student with a camera around his neck and sneakers always muddy from his weekend hikes. Born and raised in Coleridge, a small southern town tucked between highways and pine forests, he learned early what lines not to cross. He never caused trouble. His mother, a nurse at the local clinic, worked nights to give him more than this town ever offered. Nature was his escape. On weekends, while other teens drifted toward parties and parking lots, Isaiah headed into the woods. He found beauty in silence, old trees, abandoned cabins, forgotten creeks. He documented it all on his blog, which has started attracting attention. One post in particular stirred things, a photo series called Lands They Won't Talk About. Locals called him curious. Outsiders called him brave. But some people, older, louder, called him foolish. They warned him to stay on the main paths and leave old ground alone. Isaiah didn't believe in haunted trails or racial ghosts. He believed in truth. On a humid August morning, he kissed his mom's cheek, slung his backpack on, and said he'd be back before dark. He entered the woods near Grayson Trail, land tied to whispers of lynchings, sundown warnings, and strange disappearances decades ago. By sunset, Isaiah hadn't come back. When Isaiah didn't return that night, his mother called the police. They waited 6 hours to start looking, said it was probably nothing. By morning, the town's tone had shifted. Sheriff's deputies combed the woods, but only around the main trails. They avoided the area Isaiah had marked on his blog post the day before. Grayson Hollow, where the map ends. That's where the rumors lived. White families told their kids to stay away. Black families didn't speak of it at all. But Isaiah wanted answers. As search teams formed, volunteers came, at first, but many left when they heard where he'd gone. Then the photos surfaced. Isaiah had scheduled a blog post to go live the day after he disappeared. It showed black and white images of strange symbols carved into trees, rusted chains still nailed to a trunk, and a moss-covered sign. Colored use only. The blog exploded. Journalists began calling. Isaiah wasn't just missing. He had uncovered a piece of history deliberately buried, and someone didn't want it found. Locals denied the images, called them photoshopped, but elders recognized that trail. One man, nearly 80, whispered that it was once a correction camp, a place where young black men sent for discipline often didn't come back. The sheriff shut down interviews, declared the area off limits due to safety concerns. Isaiah's mother begged for a full search. She contacted civil rights attorneys, the NAACP. Pressure mounted. 3 days later, they found his backpack, neatly zipped, placed beside a tree miles off the trail. Inside was his camera, lens shattered. His notebook pages were missing, torn from the spiral. Only one remained, half smeared with water and mud. It read, "They don't want me to leave." And nothing else. As public outrage grew, the sheriff announced an official end to the search, citing lack of evidence of foul play. But people kept digging. Activists began arriving. Locals clammed up. Threats were made anonymously. A car burned outside Isaiah's mother's home. Still no Isaiah. No body. No answers. 9 days after Isaiah disappeared, a retired park ranger named Wallace came forward. He said he'd read the blog. Said he remembered that part of the woods, Grayson Hollow. Back in the 60s, it had been used as an unofficial work camp for black boys picked up by police for minor offenses. Loitering, curfew, attitude. Wallace recalled hearing screams in the night. Saw boys enter, never saw them leave. He told state investigators where Isaiah's final photo was likely taken. The state sent a team, privately, no press. They returned silent. The area was suddenly declared federal property due to environmental concerns. Then came the final, brutal blow. A week later, a photo leaked. It showed Isaiah's face, eyes wide, frightened, standing in what looked like an old clearing, surrounded by rusted shovels and a collapsed cabin. It wasn't from his camera. It was from someone else's. The image was sent anonymously to a civil rights lawyer with a single line. He found it. They found him. It confirmed what his mother feared, that Isaiah had uncovered something someone never wanted unearthed, that maybe he'd been silenced to protect a lie. And now, the forest itself had swallowed the truth. No body, no confession, just one terrifying truth. Isaiah had entered the forest, but like the others before him, he may never come out. A year passed. Isaiah's name became a chant at rallies, a hashtag online, a symbol of the erasure black voices still face in quiet corners of America. His mother didn't stop. She pushed for federal investigations, launched a foundation, and turned grief into purpose. Eventually, more came forward. Families of other boys, once dismissed as runaways, began speaking. Their stories mirrored Isaiah's. Disappearances near Grayson Hollow, silence from police, whispers in the community. A journalist traced land deeds and uncovered that the area had been owned by a private prison company in the 1930s. Its records destroyed in a fire, just before civil rights laws would have held them accountable. The forest, it turns out, wasn't just hiding history. It was history, buried under moss, mud, and decades of silence. But Isaiah's blog still lives. His images, raw and powerful, have sparked exhibits and documentaries. His story forces people to ask, what truths still lie hidden just past the edge of the trail? Because what happened to Isaiah isn't just a ghost story. It's a reminder that in places where the trees grow tall and silence is normal, injustice still echoes. If you listen, Isaiah walked into the woods chasing truth. He may not have walked out, but his story did. And now, so has the truth.